Now let's talk about another local player, and that is Zeder. It's part of the PSG Group. I think people know it's involved with agriculture. It's got a big stake in Pioneer. Market cap is 12.8 billion rand. PE ratio of 16.6. Dividend yield of 1.2%. There's a sum of the parts valuation that's been arrived at. Probably they do publish that from time to time. Right. Let's go straight to the share chart. Okay, Rowan, so that fall there in 2015 probably mirrored that of Pioneer, which dived after a bit of a bad patch.
I think what you saw was concern about the impact of the drought on the agri-businesses. I guess Pioneer as their principal asset. Pioneer had done very well in the lead up to sort of the impact of the drought affecting the actual operating results and subsequently sell off. I think there was some concern near Gate in early 2016. The market was selling off. It sold off very heavily. It got to a very wide discount. We calculated around 30%. There was another issue which has been addressed as well. PSG, which this is part of their stable, traditionally also charged a management fee and a performance fee, in fact, linked to a bond yield.
Yes.
And that was causing issues because
they tinkered with it over the years.
Yes, and it had to be paid out in cash. And this is an investment holding company, doesn't generate a lot of cash other than really dividend received from Pioneer. And so it was causing a bit of a cash issue in the business. PSG agreed to restructure it, and actually they were issued shares in lieu of giving up that fairly lucrative fee structure.
Okay, so just to be perfectly clear, has that management structure now been taken out and replaced? They've effectively bought it back using shares, doing some sort of valuation.
That's
so now they've got a higher stake, which is probably well into the 60s or higher.
No, for 42%.
It was 42, okay, so maybe it's a little higher than that.
Yeah, so, but it's sort of taken away some uncertainty around sort of cash, and it's clear now there's no, and that so-called discount that I mentioned in terms of from management fees has gone away. Obviously the shareholders were diluted somewhat, but it's much clearer and easier to value. I think there's a lot of now optimism about agri-businesses given the turnaround in the agricultural
Because of course they've got
cycle.
businesses like Cape Span, and they've got a seed business, Agricole. They've got some assets up in Zambia and Angola, where they're sort of looking at agriculture. And the whole theme was that the drought will eventually go, plus agricultural development needs to be extended because of course there's a food shortage in Africa and so on and so forth. So share chart wise, valuation wise, do you look at this? Look at the
we do,
discount. Do you like it?
Yeah, so it's narrowed significantly now from being very wide around sort of 30%, around 10% discount to NAV. It looks sort of a bit optimistic in terms of that discount. As I said, without a management fee, maybe 15 to 20%. So it looks a little bit pricey. I think it's pricing in a turnaround in its underlying assets. One more point, they own a big stake in Carp Agri, which is an OTC listed counter. There's been talk of that being listed, which would probably see a value uptick. So I think that's part of the optimism in the share price.
OTC is over the counter, so Carp Agri trades over the counter, and it's possible that that could come to the main market.
Board, exactly.
One final question. If the weather is good, I don't know anything about the weather, but I'm hearing that the weather is getting better than it used to be, even in the Cape. Does that fatten up their margins generally? Is that the more advantageous thing you want to see?
Yes, it does. So the input costs come down in Pioneer, margins go up.
At the top end goes up.
And the other agri-businesses will also benefit.
So you're hot or not on this one?
I think it's pretty full at the current levels. I'd like to see the discount a bit wider. So I'm actually going to say not hot. I think it's pricing in all the things that we've already mentioned.
Okay, I'm going to take a different perspective and say that I like Pioneer's underlying movement trend. We've seen Tiger doing well and AVI doing okay, so I'm going to go with hot on that one.